Every year in the NFL, it's a new team. As far as goals go, we have one. Putting a f***ing ring on our finger.
Welcome to the Buccaneers Observer Podcast. This is Ralph Phillips.
I'm Molly Bay.
Today starts a new month, November 1st, 2021.
Starting out terribly. Horrible. I hate it.
Molly's been in a bad mood all day long. I wonder why. Oh, man. Well, you know, no Victory Monday today. But what we do have is a fire in our belly. Mm-hmm. All we wanted, I don't even want to go to the playoffs this year. I don't even want to win the Super Bowl. I just want to curb stomp the Saints again.
I know. I want revenge. I do want to go to the playoffs if it means we can embarrass them again like we did last year.
That'd be nice.
But I don't think they're going to make it to the playoffs.
No, I don't either. Don't think so. Yeah, so we've got a podcast for you. It's not necessarily going to be good because we're just going to sit here and complain about stuff, but we're just going to review the game, you know, just talk about our feelings for it. Now, we went trick-or-treating last night. We left at halftime.
I hate Halloween games. Hate them. Hate them. Why do they do that?
Yeah, if you got kids,
Why?
It kind of sucks. So I recorded it, and then when we got back, Molly's looking in our neighbor's window, and she sees the score, and I think it was 29-27 at that point.
I was trying to watch it, too, and then they closed the blinds.
You creep.
Like a weirdo.
Yeah, so she comes in, and I had just stopped the recording, and I was like, don't look. And she was like, I already saw it. So then we sat there and we watched the last few minutes, and then we rewound it, rewatched the game, and then we rewatched it again today, right before we got on for the podcast. So, you know, we got some stuff to talk about.
We just keep reliving it over and over again.
It's like our own version of hell. So what do you think, Molly? Give me your thoughts. We haven't really talked about it. You got if you could sum it up in just a couple sentences.
Complete hot garbage. The ref crew, Ralph, what the hell were you talking about? Like, it was like Cleat heard you giving him props, and he was like, challenge accepted, and just was a total douchebag the whole game. Like, fuck Cleat Blakeman. I hate him.
Well, you know, I said, we got Cleat, so hopefully it won't be a bad game, and I should have done that as a fact-check follow-up to start this off. That I was totally wrong in that one. Them refs had it out for us. They hated us.
It was like, they were like, oh, the Bucs are maybe going to have a chance to win this. Yeah, we can't let that happen. In particular, that Alvin, they were like on the 15 and we stuffed it. It was 3rd and 5. We stuffed them. And then they go, oh, what was the penalty? Like a holding or offsides or something that gave them 5 yards exactly. The exact yardage that they needed to get another shot at it.
No, that was the JPP Barrett one where they jumped off sides.
I can't remember. But yeah, it was just so many of them. We're just like, what are you even talking about? Okay, the horse collar one with Jameis Winston. So Ralph looked up at the rule, and that's kind of been circulating on Twitter today too. But the rule is technically, if you grab them above the nameplate, how many times have you ever seen that called? Never.
I know. I had no idea. I always thought it was grab the inside of the shoulder pads. Mm-hmm. But it is a very confusing rule when you read it. You can't grab the nameplate or above the outside of the shoulder pad. But here's the thing. Here's why I say that shouldn't have been a penalty, is because the rule book is very explicit that you have to pull them down. And he did. Devin White didn't pull him down. He pulled him backwards. It was a horizontal movement.
That's interesting. You can make that argument.
Yeah, you could. I just did.
Yeah. Okay. The Jameis Winston injury.
Yeah, you hate to see it.
I just don't care.
But
I'm to the point I'm like numb today. I'm just like, I mean, yeah. You don't want to see people injured.
I'm not gonna tell everybody what you were saying earlier about that. But, I mean, he's in the locker room. There's video of him in the locker room after the game dancing.
I know. You're
I'm
like, come on.
Dude.
Come on. But this is what we say about running quarterbacks, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, we had just had this big conversation.
We had just had this conversation. Mm-hmm. That is what happens to running quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's going to happen eventually. And it's generally going to happen quite a few times until they're busted up robots just kind of chunking along out there. Like Cam Newton or RG3. The
I hope they
examples.
get Cam Newton.
Wouldn't that be something?
Mm-hmm. They should.
We could double dose hate that
trade
team.
for Deshaun Watson. Like, do that.
They can't afford him.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
I don't know.
Because they got to take his salary cap or his
probably
contract.
Yeah.
It's like $20 million or something.
Something.
Yeah. You hated to see it. But again, unknown quarterback comes in, Simeon, and ends up beating us. It's been a long thing. But, people make a big deal about it, but you got to remember for 10 years, we just sucked and everybody beat us for anything. So, that's no big thing. But you also got to remember, you game plan for certain quarterbacks, and then all of a sudden you have a unknown variable thrown at you.
Yeah.
You just got to kind of go.
Thrown in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Your whole game.
That's what happened to us with Washington in the playoffs with what's his face? Heineke.
Right. Yeah. Yes. But the weird thing of it is that Sunday there were 3 backup quarterbacks that came in. Dallas, their guy Cooper Locke or something like that.
Oh gosh.
And
the weirdest
the Jets,
like quarterback name. Yeah, the Jets guy.
The Jets guy. Oh man, but anyhow, they all 3 won.
Yeah.
So.
Well, fuck those guys.
God, okay. All right with the language, man. We got to keep this somewhat family friendly.
I am not Dora the Explorer.
Okay, here's the rule for the horse collar tackle. Now, everybody listen to this closely because it is a very, very strangely worded rule. Article 16, it says, no player shall grab the inside collar of the back or the side of the shoulder pads or jersey or grab the jersey at the nameplate or above and pull the runner toward the ground. He didn't do that. He did not pull him towards the ground. He was standing up. They were both standing up. Devin White reached out and grabbed him and yanked him backwards. He didn't pull him to the ground.
I have never even heard that penalty called that way, though.
Me neither.
That's the thing, is it would be one thing if they were consistent about it. But again, it's like they're just pulling stuff out of thin air.
Well, that takes us on to some more penalties here. But let's say this. No, let's cover these penalties. All right, there was the Devin White roughing the passer penalty where he grazed Simeon's face mask. I mean, literally, I think it was 2 fingers hit his face mask as he was going by. And that's roughing the passer. Now, football's getting really hard to watch with all these penalties and all these rules and all this stuff. I mean, Devin White had gotten called for a taunting penalty earlier, which you're just like, what? We had talked about this at the beginning of the season, before the season started. We're like, this is going to be a mess. It's just because it's one of those things where it has no effect on the game. It's a totally subjective rule. We're putting way too much on these referees. They got to worry about the quarterback's health. They got to worry about the rules on the field. They got to pay attention to the ball, and now they have to make sure these guys are nice to each other. We're just every year we're adding more stuff, and the more
are they kindergarten teachers? Like, what is this?
Right? He's a grown man.
What are we doing?
Let him.
I know,
fight.
And so Devin White is like over. Come on, it was
I have
so
seen
stupid.
that. I pointed it out. It's happened to us a couple of times where players have done that. They've got up, they've been talking crap, and they got their, standing there with their fists clenched, bowed up, over top of our players on the ground, and we didn't get no damn penalty. But that goes back to what you said is consistency. I don't mind stupid rules as long as you're consistent with it. But how many times have we seen Tom Brady, or even when Jameis was here, get hit in the helmet? No call. And then Devin White comes in and just barely grazes his face mask. 15-yard penalty.
It is so stupid. And then the Gholston penalty.
Oh.
The dude lost his helmet. When were they going to call that hands to the face?
Well, I honestly don't think it was hands to the face. It looked like he got caught in his armpit or his elbow. But,
and then you're going to... oh gosh, I have nothing nice to say about these.
Yes, that was complete. You're just like, this is supposed to be a contact sport. It's supposed to be a manly sport, but
this is a man's game.
It's supposed to be.
We are a soft culture society.
Yeah. Well, it's like Calvin Ridley, quitting because of the mental health. You're like
midway through the game,
and people are celebrating that. It's like the Olympian girl who just quit, and everybody's celebrating that. It's like, no, why are we celebrating quitters? And why are we take a full contact sport where guys run as fast as they can, they lift as many heavy weights as they can, they jump as high as they can, they go through 6 years of training to get to this level, and then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, no, you can't push each other, or you can't say bad names to each other, or whatever. Even
Gholston, a mean gesture, like you don't even have to say anything. You just gotta look in their direction.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of this.
Yes, it is making it hard to watch. Every time there's a pass, everybody looks around for a penalty. And then they'll say, "Oh, there's a pass back behind the quarterback," and you go, "Oh, well, somebody must have laid a finger on the quarterback, or it was holding." But with the Gholston thing, he didn't hit the quarterback hard. He just kind of shoved him. But here's the thing, and I'm going to watch it on all 22. I couldn't. I tried to pause it and see it on the broadcast version, but there wasn't a good angle. I think he hit him after Winfield caught that interception.
That's what I thought too.
And then that would not be roughing the passer. That's a block. Totally legal. Yeah, we got screwed. We got so screwed.
Yeah, so we had 11 penalties for 99 yards. They had 2 for 10.
And they were in the first quarter.
Are we serious here?
Yeah, they got their 2 penalties in the first half of the game. Yes, and then they just totally stopped calling penalties on them. Like the Alvin Kamara run for a touchdown, the tight end was blatantly holding Levante David in the end zone.
This, had his arms
he had his hands up.
Yeah.
And, they did that last. Okay, this has been 3 games in a row where the officiating has been absolutely horrendous. And it's been a totally lopsided. You have to think something weird is going on.
Well,
there.
That's how I felt, where it was like, okay, the Saints, I think they needed a field goal to take the lead again. Was that right?
Yes.
Yeah. And they got stuffed on a 3rd down, and then that's when they called that penalty, and it extended the drive. And you're like, good Lord, if I were a conspiracy theorist, I would think, oh, hey, that was a pre-planned, like they want the Saints to win or at least come back in this game, and they had to keep that drive going, because otherwise, we were winning at 1:44 left in the 4th quarter. Yeah. Like it wasn't, it wasn't like it was some lopsided game.
No. I was 100% positive that we had that game. Especially when Tom Brady got the ball back. All he had to do was go and get in field goal range. But, the first interception he threw, that guy held Godwin and actually kind of spun him around. You're like, how in the world do you not call that? But then you call Cockrell running down the field side by side with his guy, and his guy leans over into him, and they call that.
I didn't even see that Cockrell one. I'm curious.
There really wasn't anything there. Yeah. But they were just running down.
They didn't even re-show it on the broadcast.
It's it was just atrocious officiating, and it's league wide. It's not just us, but it's league wide. It's I'm watching games and I'm just like, oh God, this is just ugly
Y'all getting
officiating.
hosed.
Yeah. And I knew it was going to happen, and I immediately, Rick Stroud put a podcast out last night because they're all stuck in New Orleans. Because Southwest, is it Southwest or United Airlines?
Well, now it's American Airlines.
American
it was
Airlines.
Southwest. Now
yeah.
it's American.
Yeah, they're having backup issues. So apparently Rick Stroud and Greg Allman and all those guys are stuck in Louisiana until Wednesday. Anyhow, he put a podcast out last night, and he couldn't have been more happier that we lost. He was just talking crap about the Bucs and talking the Saints up like that was his favorite team. It might be. I don't know. But he was talking about Jameis was playing so great. Blah, 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 blah. And Peyton, Sean Payton's always got our number, and he just, we just can't beat him. And just talking about how great they were, the Saints. So anyhow, what was I getting at? What was I talking about?
I don't know.
So I knew penalties were going to be the thing, and how we've been saying this for 2 years now. Penalties don't matter, man. I mean, I know that's hard to wrap your head around because they do matter. They do matter, but you can't look at a team and see how many penalties they got and tell if they won or lost. You can't do it. Here's a perfect example. Dallas Cowboys had 11 penalties, just like we did yesterday. They won with 11 penalties.
Mm-hmm. Penalties matter when you lose. Exactly. That's when they matter.
Yes, and that's when people, they just look straight at that and go, oh, all these penalties. But half of those penalties were bull crap calls, and the Saints didn't get any penalties called on them, and they should have. I was seeing holding all over the place. It's the Saints. They hold. That's what they do. And, there was blatant pass interference. And a pass interference that caused an interception. How they didn't see that?
They saw it.
It just makes you think, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
So I didn't think that Brady played all that well. I mean, he cost us that game.
Yeah.
I mean, that interception.
Yeah, that last interception.
Yeah. But there was one earlier in the beginning, and then he had a fumble.
Mm-hmm. Now, neither one of those I would really blame on him. Like I said, that the first interception, he was throwing it to Godwin, and Godwin was running the route, but that the guy covering him grabbed hold of Godwin and yanked him and turned him sideways. So, I wouldn't really say that was Brady's fault. That was a referee's fault. But the last one, 100% on Brady. I don't know what he was thinking there. He had Mike Evans wide open going across in the opposite direction. And he even said, that he threw it to the wrong guy. I don't know if he didn't see that safety or what. Well, I think he said that he expected, or no, it was the announcers. He expected Godwin to get in front of that safety. But that was just not a very good
They did
decision.
show like an end zone angle from it, and it did look like Godwin was in front of the safety to me. So you could kind of see what he saw.
Yeah. Well, he threw, right before that, he had thrown a pass to Mike Evans. And Brady was doing something that he normally doesn't do. He's usually very good at placing the ball so that the receivers don't get walloped. And he did it a few times in this game where receivers were getting clobbered. One time Fournette got blasted, and normally Brady, and he even talks about that. He's very conscious as to where he throws the ball so to protect his receivers. Well, he threw right before he threw that interception. He threw one to Mike Evans, and it was a beautiful pass. And Mike Evans went to put his arms out, and he saw the safety coming straight at him. And if he would have caught that ball, he would have got clobbered. And so he pulled his arms back, and that ball landed. I mean, it was a perfect pass, but he decided not to catch it because the safety would have clobbered him. Mike Evans I love Mike Evans, but Mike Evans isn't going to lay out for a ball. I don't think I've ever seen him do it. There was that pass that long bomb to Mike Evans that he got wrapped up with Lattimore a little bit, stumbled, and then the ball landed right in front of him. They said Brady overthrew him. No, he didn't. It was a perfect pass by Brady. Mike Evans could have laid out for that, but he just doesn't do that, And he jumped back, or he pulled his hands back on that pass, and then the next time, I don't know if Brady was like, "I'm not going to throw it to you because you decided not to catch that last one," but Mike Evans was running straight across the middle. He had done beat his guy. He was wide open. And he threw it to Godwin. But again, he threw it to Godwin. And even if Godwin would have caught that, he would have gotten clobbered. Very strange. Yeah, it was. But Brady was throwing some beautiful passes. He really did throw some beautiful passes. But that last interception, man, I don't know.
Oh, and that is going to piss him off. And he's going to stew on that for 2 weeks and then take it out on the Washington football team.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. His press conference, he was.
Oh, I love watching those. I love when he's mad.
He was straight up Belichick, man.
Yeah, because he normally with the media is like, jovial and pleasant. And but no, not when he loses. He is pissy.
I think he was there for a minute and a half. Yeah. Then he just got up and walked away.
Yeah.
The first question he answered, and he like chuckled. He had a little grin on his face, and then after that, it was just, let me get out of here. Yeah. Go home, beat my wife, kick my dog. So people are reading all the articles today. It's penalties this, penalties that. Now, John Lanyard with the Pewter Report, he had a good article. And, he's of my opinion. He was like, no, the officiating is just sucking. It's just horrible, horrible officiating. And the Buccaneers, well he said, let me read this exactly because I like the way he put it. He said, if the past is any indication, there will be some regression to the mean. Some of the ridiculous calls in the Bucs will cease, and they will start getting a few more calls in their favor. The good news is that despite the current discrepancy, the Bucs are still 6-2. That's what everybody's got to remember. All their problems are fixable. The schedule is favorable, and they should be healthy coming out of the bye. If they can clean up the little things like they did last year, Tampa Bay will be just fine. So,
and he pointed out that we have we've gotten a lot of penalties, but then we also haven't really been the beneficiary of any calls that often either. So we've gotten some nonsense calls, and then it's not like there have been calls on the other side to balance it out. It hasn't been that way. No,
it's been really lopsided. Badly. And the Saints, I don't know what it is with them. These refs and the Saints. I don't know. Maybe they feel bad because of Bountygate. And they're like, well, we'll give the Saints about 10 years worth of penalty passes.
No, it should be the other way around. Because of Bountygate, you can't be trusted, and we're going to penalize you worse.
I don't know, man.
No tolerance for your nonsense.
Well, I will say this. Both teams were chippy out there. I mean, there was a lot of pushing and shoving and jawing at each other. Now, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, he's their safety, right?
I think it's supposed to be CJ. I don't know where I got Chauncey. That's what I call him. I hope that's his first name because I'm going to keep calling him that.
It's Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
I don't know. Well, ESPN has him as CJ.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, him and Fournette got into it after the game. And had to be separated by the coaches and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, there's video of it. It wasn't that. It wasn't that big of a deal. The guy put hands on Fournette. Fournette smacked his hands away, and they got up in each other's face, and people jumped in between them. You could see them; they were yelling at each other, and so that's the same guy that got was causing people to punch him.
Yes.
Okay. Who was it?
His name is
the Bears.
Chauncey. Yeah, the Bears. His name is Chauncey. This one hurts me. He was born in 1997. I hate looking at those. It makes me feel old. So, yeah, it was 2 different receivers for the Bears. He got to punch him. So.
Yes. And I was talking about it coming into the game on the last podcast, how jealous I was that Lattimore was fighting with other receivers the previous 2 weeks. He fought with them in Seattle. DJ Metcalf was like throwing blows at him. And the week before that, I can't remember who they were playing, but somebody was swinging on Lattimore. These guys are professional assholes. They're getting under everybody's skin. When Devin White got that
the taunting
penalty, he actually should have got it about 5 plays before that, because Mark Ingram, I don't know what it is between those two, but they don't like each other. He tackled Mark Ingram. They went out of bounds, and Devin White like straddled him. And when Mark Ingram tried to get up, he shoved him in the back down to the ground. And then they got up, and they were like in each other's face, yelling at each other, walking back towards the thing.
I am here for it.
Yes. So there's no love lost between our two teams, but I will say the Saints are cheaters. They hold, they do nasty stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if they're like punching people in the nuts and pile and stuff like that. But their secondary is getting under people's skin somehow, some way. I don't know if it's by talking or hitting or what. So, that's something the refs need to take a look at, I think. I mean, when you have...
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to call nonsense like taunting, like maybe you should start policing people who have reputations for being jerks.
They do it to Jensen.
I know.
They give him all kinds of silly penalties just because they say he's a bully. But Lattimore...
I wish he had done more bullying.
He was out there. Remember that he grabbed that dude by the neck and threw him to the ground?
Yeah.
What was that? That was the
I think
quarter.
that was on the Cyril Johnson touchdown.
Yes, you are correct. Yeah, he grabbed it right by the neck and just slayed him to the ground.
Yeah, so that was a good one.
Yeah.
The offensive line gave up 3 sacks.
Well, 2 of them were on the last drive. And they don't really count. When they had already scored a touchdown, they were up by 2 scores on us. They knew we were going to pass. We were backed up. We had long developing plays, so they just came at us with everything. And both of those 2 sacks happened there. So those are one of those things where you're like, yeah, it's going to make the offensive line look bad, but it really didn't matter.
Okay. We did give up 152 yards rushing. I do not like that. I know.
Yeah, that's
Kamara had 61. Year. Winston had 40.
Yeah, that's right. Winston popped off 40, and then we did good holding Kamara.
Yeah, 61
I thought we did
yards
really good.
And a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
He had 19 carries, so he averaged 3.2 yards a carry.
Oof. Yeesh.
That's good.
Yeah, that's horrible for him. Good for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Jameis was getting us with those runs. And you knew it. You just knew it was coming. I was like, oh, somebody's going to clobber him.
Yeah.
And we did get one good hit on him. And then Devin White got him with that.
See, I wanted to beat him.
I know, me too.
That's what,
I guarantee if he would have stayed in that game, we would have won it for sure.
That's what I think too. I think it would have been a different game.
But
had he been in there.
No, the refs would have given it to him.
Probably.
We would have been called for all kinds of crazy stuff. The way he runs around.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yeah, but his offensive line has to hold a lot too.
Yeah.
Can't keep track of him.
Yeah, so everybody today and last night were just complaining about the penalties. We got to clean up the penalties and all this. And Arians was like, it was an embarrassing game. We have penalties and interception, turnovers. That was his thing. Now turnovers they're serious. Penalties, Now normally you can look at a team and look at the turnover ratio and you can go, they won.
Mm-hmm.
It's rare if you get somebody who gets 3 turnovers, another team gets 0.
Mm-hmm.
And the team that got 0 wins. I mean, it just doesn't work out that way. All 3 turnovers were on Brady but I would say really only one of them was his fault. You know, the one he fumbled, he just got sandwiched. I mean, he got hit low and hit high at the same time. You know, and he was trying to bring the ball down, and it just popped out. I mean, technically it's his fault, but not a whole lot he could have done there. But you know, the penalties thing, you know, guys, we're going to clean it up. I mean, good Lord, we had the last half of all season last year with hardly any penalties.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Yeah, it was the same thing.
Yeah, same thing. This exact same thing last year. Everybody was, you know, upset about the penalties, and then we cleaned them up.
It just disappeared. I am concerned about Gronk. He left the game. They were saying he had back stingers, which, those are...
Yeah, Arians seemed kind of miffed that he came and played. He said
Well, he's the one that makes that call, right?
I don't know. Probably not.
I don't know.
The back spasms were. Arians said it had something to do with the rib injuries, and he was like he shouldn't have played. So
interesting.
Bruce Arians gave a press conference last night with a little styrofoam cup. What was in that?
So he was the first press conference. He already had his cup, and then he just walks off with the cup. You're like, you know where he's going.
He's going straight to the parking lot.
Yep. So, yeah, you know, I wanted to win this one. I am upset that we lost. It really doesn't make a whole lot of difference in the long run. We're not going to see these idiots in the playoffs. And I just wanted a sweep. I wanted a sweep of the Saints.
Yeah, I wanted to win too. You know, I always want to win, but you know, last podcast I was like, you know, if we lose this, it's no big deal. It really isn't. You know, right now we're half a game up on them. I think they're playing the Redskins, right? Next week.
I'm looking right now.
And then, you know, they might win that. And that'll give them a half a game up on us.
No, they play the Falcons next week.
Oh, the Falcons. Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
And, you know, I just don't think they're that good of a team. And we'll see. I think in about 5 or 6 more weeks, it's kind of like Carolina. You know, we said at the get-go, so they're not a good team.
Yeah.
You know, they're getting lucky, and they're playing bad opponents, blah, blah, blah. And we see them coming back down to earth now.
They did beat Atlanta.
Yeah. I think everybody's
19
beating Atlanta.
13, I know. Everyone takes turns.
So I do not expect the Saints to carry on much longer as, you know, a contender.
Yeah, and especially you got your third string quarterback. I mean, Trevor Siemian does have starting experience, so there's that. But who knows if he's going to continue to start. And then does Taysom Hill, when he gets back, is he going to start? And we saw how that went last year.
Yeah,
we'll see these idiots in December, and I think it'll be a much different game.
Oh, yeah.
By that point.
And this was a revenge game for them. It was a big-time revenge game for them. You know, I mean, it was a revenge game for Jameis, but he got knocked out. But the whole team as a whole, we took them out of the playoffs last year. Their fan base, the team, the coaches, everybody wanted to win this game. To us, it was like, it's a division game. We'd like to win, but, you know, we're not going to kill ourselves to do it. It's a long season.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't mean that much to us as it does to you. They wanted it more. But if you look at the play, they didn't beat us. You know, it was like that interception that lost the game. That wasn't anything they did. That was just a bad mistake on Brady's part.
Right.
You know, and all the penalties and stuff, that's nothing they did. They just weren't getting called for penalties. You know, I didn't see them beating us. We beat ourselves, and then the refs helped out.
Yeah, like receiving, we had 375 yards. They had 215.
Yeah, Brady threw 4 touchdowns.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, how do you throw 4 touchdowns and lose?
Yeah.
And
I don't know. Ask Jameis Winston. He's got a lot of experience doing that.
Yeah, Brady's thrown like he's like his 28th game or something where he's had 4+ touchdowns, and crap ton of yardage. And this is only the second one he's lost. So.
Yeah. That'll happen.
Yeah.
That'll happen.
Yeah, turnovers are huge, man.
So, yeah.
And
That's
why I was so furious with that Winfield turnover. It was a great interception on his part. And, when they replayed it, I was like, are you serious? You're going to call that a penalty? He just pushed the quarterback. He didn't hit him. Mm-mm. He just kind of, just bumped into him. It was a little aggressive.
But got pushed into him, right? I mean, he had an offensive lineman with him.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I really want to look at that also too,
Yeah.
but I guarantee you that he hit him after Winfield got that interception. If he did, then that should have nullified it. But anyhow, that really kind of turned the mood of the game.
Mm-hmm. Because it was such nonsense. It was so stupid. It was a stupid penalty.
It was like back to back. It was like Devin White with the taunting call, and then Devin White with the roughing the passer where he grazed his face, and then Gholston. And you're like, what is going on here? Mm-hmm. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but
I am.
The earth is flat.
I just hate going into the bye like this on a loss. Because we got to chew on it for 2 weeks. It's the same thing that happened last year when we lost to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And then had to go into the bye week like that.
Yes, and you, like you said, they're gonna chew up the Redskins, man.
No, Atlanta.
No, us.
Oh, we are. Yeah.
Coming off the bye, having 2 weeks of mulling over this.
I know, Ralph. We got to go to that game.
I know. I want to take the daughter. She's never been to a football game.
And so she can experience her first NFL loss and heartbreak.
She's a Redskins fan.
No, she likes the Buccaneers now.
Yeah, she changed her allegiance.
Yeah. Because they were winning.
Yeah.
She's a bandwagoner. That's okay. Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. Yeah. I feel like, it was an ugly game. It was, when we went and got the lead, I thought that was it. I was like, oh, we got this game. And then they scored the field goal. But we did a really good job of slowing them down, and they screwed up by throwing passes and not running time off the clock and gave it back to Brady with like a minute and a half left. I'm like, there's no way we're going to lose this. Mm-hmm. And, gosh, you just threw that interception. Well, it was, let me see, Tyler Johnson dropped the ball, right? Or was that the series after that? I think it was a series after that. But anyhow, it just things just weren't going right, and then, he threw that ball to Evans, and Evans decided not to catch it. And I was like, man, dude, you should have laid out for that one because he didn't even have to lay out. Just put his hands out.
Yeah.
And take the hit because we're trying to win the game here. Mm-hmm. And then the next play, you see Evans going across with a guy trailing behind him. And I thought for sure that's where he was. I was like, he's going to throw it to Evans again. And he threw it to Godwin, and it just stepped right in front. Oh, man.
And remember that 2-point conversion? They threw it to Godwin. Godwin got like nowhere with it. Yeah. I don't know if there was a better thing there, but it's another one of those like kind of momentum busters.
Well, somebody did horrible blocking on that. I think it was Mike Evans or something. Might have been OJ. I can't remember, but I just saw somebody just kind of standing there.
Oh, God.
I was like, what are you doing?
Oh, I think it was Mike Evans. I think it was Mike. So, yeah, I didn't think it was a complete game for sure.
No. Yeah.
And I think the refs really screwed us, but there were things that we could have done a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, even with 11 penalties and how many yards was it?
99.
11 penalties and 99 yards, we still were in it right to the end. Mm-hmm. Right to that interception.
Ugh, that one hurt.
Yeah.
Hurt me.
Yeah. Didn't see it. I thought for sure we had it. Mm-hmm. It's like, Tom Brady's, he's just got to go
Yeah.
30, 40 yards to get in field goal range. We got this.
If we had Jameis under center, I would fully anticipate it. You would expect it.
You're
you
right.
You knew it was coming.
That was
Tom Brady. You're like, a win's coming.
Yeah.
And then you don't get the win. You get a Jameis Winston play.
Yeah, so, I would say if anybody were to ask me, and since I've got this podcast, I could just go ahead and do it and pretend like somebody asked me, why did we lose that? 100% Tom Brady. That interception cost us the game. And that's, I used to say the same thing with Jameis Winston. No matter how the game goes, if you've got a chance to win it and you throw an interception and it's your fault, you cost us the game. That's how it works.
Well, and I think Tom Brady would tell you the same thing.
Yeah.
Tom Brady would say that.
Yeah.
That was on me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, screw all the penalties, screw all the turnovers, all that good stuff. It was that interception.
One play.
Yep. And that's 2 games he's lost us now. He lost us the Chicago game when he got confused and thought it was 3rd down when it was 4th down, and then this game he threw the interception.
Okay, so he can have one a season. 6. I'm completely fine with that, as long as he wins us a Super Bowl or gets us to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll tolerate that.
Okay. I'll send him a note. Let him know you're okay with it.
Thank you, Ralph. I appreciate it.
It was tough. I thought we did a good job, like I said, stopping Kamara, but they went for it on 4th down quite a bit. We stopped them that one time. It was beautiful. 4th and 1, Kamara right up the middle. We just stuffed him. I love that. I thought our defense made some great plays. If we got that turnover, that Winfield touchdown or
I know
interception.
that was such BS. It was BS.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to watch this all 22. It'll be out tomorrow morning. Kids aren't at school tomorrow, so I don't know how much I'll be able to get done with watching it. But I'm really going to go over this with a fine-tooth comb as far as the penalties are concerned. I mean, I saw at least 3 uncalled penalties against the Saints. And there were big ones, too. The Kamara one where they were holding David. I mean, there was 2 refs right there. There was one in the end zone. There was one on the sideline.
Like, when the defender puts his arms up, like, that's a cue.
That's usually a good sign.
Every time.
But also, it's a linebacker against a tight end. Tight end's blocking for like 6 seconds.
I know.
There's no way.
And he immediately started holding him. It was like contact was made.
Yeah,
he's got the shoulder pads. Yeah.
And that's Levante David. I mean, that's like his bread and butter. If you ask me what Levante David's number 1 skill is, it's getting off of blocks. And you're going to tell me a tight end is going to block Levante David for 6 seconds?
I know.
No.
It's a joke.
No. Yeah.
These officials.
And again, with the interception, the first interception, it was blatant. It was right there in front of everybody. The guy mugged Godwin, spun him around, causing the interception. And no call there. It's just like, man, come on, dudes. Come on. But I really want to see if Gholston hit him. Because it was Gholston took like 3 steps before he made contact with him. And it was an unusually long time. And I was of the impression that Gholston knew that Winfield had intercepted the ball.
Oh. So he was going to block.
Yeah. Or just get a hit in on the quarterback. Because
that's what I was going to say, because there were like 3 linemen around him too. It's like, oh, you're going to choose to block the quarterback?
Right.
We all know what you're doing here. All right, Ralph, we got a game to watch.
Yes, it's that time.
It's that time.
It's our AFC nemesis, the Kansas City Chiefs, or we're going to call them that.
Let's go watch them implode. It'll make this a little sweeter. Yeah, they're playing the Giants. Ooh. It'd be nice if they lost the Giants. They're only 1 game up on the Giants.
No,
they're
we want
3
the
and
Giants
4.
to lose.
I know,
they're
but
innocent.
like for my
emotionally.
Yeah, emotionally.
I get it. I do want to give a shout out to Cyril Grayson though. Doink caught his first NFL pass.
Beautiful.
It was beautiful. That
busted coverage.
Busted coverage.
He was just flying down the field.
Man. Yeah, he caught it pretty. I didn't like how he stopped at like the 5-yard line and
I was waiting for a taunting penalty.
I was waiting for something.
Like I was just in that taunting. Come on, guys.
No, he wasn't looking him in the eye.
I guess
That was the thing. But he did have that. It was almost a very similar play last year. Was it last year when he was going down the sideline and went right through his hand and hit him right off the helmet? So he caught his one pass this year. That was good.
Loved it. It was a touchdown.
That was his hometown.
Beautiful.
He's from that area.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So he had people there and everything.
So it was Fournette and
That's right.
Devin White.
That's right. Huh. I want to know what's up with White and Ingram. They do not like each other.
I know.
They were like every time.
But to me, Mark Ingram, I mean, he's kind of old for football. Probably my age.
They probably went to rival colleges or something.
Maybe. I know, but Mark Ingram is so much old. Yeah, he was born in 89.
Good Lord. He's a dinosaur.
So old.
And put him out to pasture.
I know. Oh, you're so funny.
Yeah. All right, guys. So, take all the reports of us, being a horrible football team because of our penalties and all that stuff with a grain of salt. We're still the best team in the league, bar none.
Definitely better than the Saints.
Definitely better than the Saints. So, I don't know. I can't wait to see the All-22. And
you always like doing the All-22 more when we lose.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Well, because when we win, I know what I'm going to see.
Us being awesome.
Yes.
Why would you not want to watch that?
I do like watching it. Mm-hmm. It's just not as, I don't know. It doesn't get my blood going, I guess.
Yeah.
When I'm watching it and I see all these holds and penalties.
Like the adrenaline of being angry.
Mm-hmm. So I'll have something out for you Wednesday on that. Keep an eye out on our Twitter and stuff if you've got that. I might throw some videos out if I see it as I go along. Depends on how angry I get and how blatant this stuff is. But it is now football time again, and we're going to go do that. Is that it?
Do it. Yes.
All righty, guys. We do appreciate it. We talked about the you guys supporting us and giving us the encouragement to keep going. We do appreciate all that good stuff. And when we were gone for 2 weeks, there was a lot of people that were curious if we were okay and all that good stuff. And it meant a lot to us. It meant a lot to us. So we put out the sponsorship stuff out there, and we've had a great. I was going to say turnout, but what would be the word? Response to that, yeah. And I mean, it blows me away. It really does that people like us, especially.
You like us. You like really us. Do.
You really do. Yeah. So if you're interested in, supporting us, look at the link down in the description or wherever. We still haven't got it all completely set up either, where we're, got it on the website and all that. So the description link, I think, is the only place we got it. Mm-hmm. So look in the description, and if you want to help us out, feel free. We do appreciate it. But until next time,
go Bucs.